Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be the 10-month update for the Panning Games. This project is a Pantastic Ladies collaboration, and the entire point of this project was to randomly pull 24 items from a box and work on them from August 1st, 2018 until August 1st, 2019. If you guys have been following along, you already know that rather than choosing items to completely pan, I decided to throw 50 plus unused, never touched before palettes into a box and pull 24. And I've been working on 2 a month with the only goal of using each palette one time during the month. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're panning a palette, anything more than that would be unrealistic. For the month of May, I had pulled the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello and the MAC Eyeshadow times 15 Cool Neutral palettes, and I definitely was hoping to compare the two since they have some similarities. So both of them have some rosy neutral shades with a little bit of bronzy. This one's more cool, this one has some more warm, but they definitely had some similarities, at least from what I could tell. I only ended up using this MAC palette one time, and I basically focused on this top row right here. The look I created with it ended up being a lovely look. I have no complaints about it. It was nice. My only complaint is that there isn't a shadow in this palette that I would consider to be a brow bone highlight or an inner corner highlight, since I do like to use something with a little bit of shimmer in it. I rarely go for an all matte brow bone highlight, and this shadow is all matte. This shadow's like a satin finish. This shadow's all matte. Yeah. So I pulled from my Pan That palette and grabbed the shimmery shade to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. But otherwise, I thought this was a really nice palette. Oh, the other thing that this palette was missing was kind of a matte transition shade. This shade right here is shimmery, this is shimmery, and then this is matte. So unless I want to put this one in my transition area, which I don't, I had to pull from my palette for that as well. So I did use my palette for a brow bone highlight and an inner corner highlight, as well as a transition shade. But like I said, the look I created with it was quite lovely and I enjoyed it very much. I wish I would have had 2 more opportunities to at least use this row and this row. I kind of like how, although you could use any combination of shadows in this palette, you know, to create a look, I kind of like that it's laid out in these rows from lightest to darkest. It kind of spells it out for you if you're just looking for some help. So yeah, I wish I could have used the bottom 2 rows, but I only used the top row one time. Like the palette, but don't love it, you know? It didn't give me any feels. It was a nice look, but meh, you know. What did give me the feels is this little guy right here that I am holding upside down. This is the You Had Me at Hello palette from ColourPop. Today's look is the 3rd time that I am using this palette. I wish I could use this every single day, but getting 3 looks out of a palette in 1 month is pretty good for me, and it says a lot about this palette. Even though this palette isn't lined up in rows from lightest to darkest, I do think that it's easy to pick out a couple of eye looks really quickly just by looking at it. You have your cool tone buried look, which is what I used today and what I used the first time I tried out this palette. And then you have like a warm toned golden look down here. And then you have these 3 shimmery shades that could almost be like one shadow looks, and a deep brown if you would like to deepen up your outer V or use it as a liner, anything like that. I loved the way these shadows performed. I particularly loved this lightest shadow. You guys know that I've completely fallen out of love with Shimma Shimma from Makeup Geek. And after trying this over the past month, it was easier to define why I don't like Shimma Shimma. That shadow from Makeup Geek just kind of sits on my brow bone and is like this little strip of white, whereas this one is exactly what I'm looking for. It's shimmery, it's definitely shimmery, but the quality of the shadow almost melts into my brow bone. I mean, it's there. You can see it. It is quite bold, but it's not standing out quite as much on top of my skin like the other one does. It almost looks like somebody just swiped some Vaseline on my brow bone or something. I mean, it's just a different quality, and the way it sits on my skin is just different, and I love it. This is an outstanding inner corner highlight. It's all I have on my inner corners today. It is beautiful. If you would like to see how I got this eye look using this palette, please stick around to the end. I will add it on. But yes, I loved this palette. I would highly recommend it. When I look back at my list of palettes that I have tried out because of this project, the ones that make my heart skip a beat are few and far between, but this is definitely one of them. I loved it. I'm gonna give you a swatch of some of these shadows. This one is this brow bone highlight that I absolutely love. Really good for my skin tone, probably good for a lot of skin tones, maybe not for all skin tones. This shadow right here is really interesting. I did try to use it as a lower lash line shadow, but I didn't get to play with it on my eyelid. I wish I would have had a chance to, because it looks really pretty. And then I'll do the shadow right here, a gorgeous taupey, fairly deep taupey shadow that would make a great one shadow look in the morning when you're just racing out the door. All right, so there those are. Some just outstanding kind of metallic-y shimmer shadows that I was really impressed by. I really was. Okay, so we have 2 more months of this project, which means I have 4 more palettes that I haven't used yet for the month of June. Yes, we are in June. For the month of June, I decided to go with these 2 right here. Of course, most of you guys are very familiar with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. It's an all matte palette, and it looks like that. I have never used it. I'm one of those people that looks at all matte palettes and I think, oh yes, that's great, because I have so many single eyeshadows or like ColourPop Super Shock shadows that are just shimmery. I mean, super shimmery, and I think I could just pair a single with this palette and I have a look. But I've never done that for some reason, and I've owned this palette for like, oh, a year and a half, 2 years now, so I don't know why I'm not reaching for this, but I am certainly the most intrigued by these 2 quads right here. This one is a little too neutral for me. Just right down the middle neutral does not appeal to me. I like to go to the ends of the color spectrum, so this warmer one right here and this cooler one right here are definitely more appealing to me. So I'm hoping to use both those quads along with something that's shimmery to give it a pop, because I love some shimmer. This Smashbox eyeshadow palette is part of the Art Love Soul collection. I think I got this at Sephora. It comes with 3 of these little sets, and I ended up pulling all 3 of these for this project. And so I've used the other 2. This is the last one that I haven't used yet, and it is the most neutral out of the 3. Here it is right here. There's a beautiful neutral blush. This trio right here has some shimmer in these 2 shadows. The bottom one is matte, and then this trio is all matte. So lots of matte shadows for this month, and the only shimmery one out of both palettes are this one and this one. I can't believe there's only June and July left in this project. It seemed like so many palettes to get through when this project started back in August. the time really flew by. As glad as I am to have explored more of the eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and as exciting as it has been to finally use some of these palettes that I've had for a while but had never used before, the project planner in me is ready for this project to end so I can just have more time to focus on the shadows that are in projects, because that's the way my brain works. So I have enjoyed it, but I'm ready to wind this down and finish this project. It's been a long one, but good. That is it for this update, guys. If you would like to see how I got this eye look, please stick around because that is coming up next. Bye. Good morning, guys. Today I am going to do my eye look using the You Had Me at Hello palette from ColourPop. This palette is the first palette in a long time that made my heart skip a beat. I really liked it, so I thought I would show you a look with it. This palette looks like this. It does come with a mirror, and these are the shades, and I love them. They are gorgeous. This is a bronzy taupey shade. It looks more silvery in the reflection in my viewfinder, but yeah, it's a bronzy, deeper shade than it looks. But this palette is gorgeous. Let's jump into it. Just gonna start with a fluffy crease brush and take this lightest pinky shade right here and blend that out in my crease. To blend that out even higher, I'm going to take my Mary Kay Dusty Rose from my Pan That palette and take that almost up to my brow bone. This berry shade right here was the most pleasantly surprising eyeshadow in this palette. They were all pleasantly surprising, but that one in particular was gorgeous. I'm going to use that with a pencil brush and kind of draw out my outer V, the outer half of my lid. You'll see. I'm also going to take a little bit more of that first shade on my pencil brush and apply that to my lower lash line. And then I'm going to go back in with the first shade and the first brush and just blend it all out. All right, next we are going to take the lightest shade, the shimmery kind of champagne vanilla shade that I love, and I am going to apply that to my brow bone and the inner half of my eyelid. I'm going to apply it on my brow bone with this fluffy brush and the inner half of my eyelid with my Sonia Kashuk 106, yes, 106 brush. Okay, that's it for the eyeshadow. I'm gonna add some liner and lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the finished look with hair and lips and mascara and eyeliner. I just love this look. I find this look to be so romantic, so everyday work appropriate. If you were to say to me, Paula, you could only wear one eye look to work every day for the rest of your career, what would it be? This would be it. This is just the kind of look that makes me feel the most beautiful, the most confident. I love playing with makeup. I love a variety of looks. I like to change it up. But if I had to have one go-to look, this would be it. And this palette totally did it for me. I loved this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.